because I know you studied in a land where there is a great tradition of female scholarship, and it is complementary to the men scholars. So maybe just your reflections on your experience studying, and then also just the importance of that for our time and our place.
Yeah. Um, I had many female teachers, and so that was to me it was empowering and beautiful, and in addition to I could ask them questions that I couldn't ask them and be more comfortable. And so, there's something to be said about that. And it's so interesting because we actually think that we talk about female scholarship as if it's been lost. We talk about like it's non-existent, but in reality, female scholarship has an ongoing tradition that is not lost. It just depends on where we are. Like if we were to look at definitely in places like Yemen or in Syria or in Egypt or in Somalia, for example, or in West Senegal, you have female scholars, who interestingly enough became, who were teachers of many of our male shuyukh. Like we know, for example, Sayyidatina Nafisa, in Egypt, like how she was a teacher of Imam Shafi'i, and to the point that he, honored her so much. Like he's just like, when I died, past my funeral beer past her. So for me personally, women have a greater advantage because we got to learn from the men and the women, as opposed to in many cases the men in those lands many times only got to learn from, to study from the men. So like, for example, when I was taking Aqidah, when I learned, from one particular male scholar, and it was like, it was good. It was like, you know what I mean? I remember being like, I just like eat it up. But then when I learned it from one of my female teachers, it had a total different effect, to be honest with you. And it's not necessarily, indicative in all cases, but in this particular case, when I learned it from my male teachers, it was very much here and very cerebral. But when I learned it from my female teachers, it was like, it hit me in a much different, in a different place. Not just my heart, but like in my solar plex.